All right, well, we're going to get started. Welcome, welcome. Part of the thing with children's ministry is we want to learn about the life Jesus wants us to live in a context of fun. I know as a parent, and I shouldn't have done this, so if you do it, I totally forgive you. I always used to ask my kids when we picked them up, did you have fun? And, as a spiritual pastor, I shouldn't have asked that at all, at least not first. I should have said, what'd you learn about Jesus today? But I knew my kids. If they weren't having fun, they weren't learning anything about Jesus. So I should have swapped it and put fun later, but you all get it. Your kids, if they're not having fun, they don't want to be here. They don't want to come. And we will talk about your role in that in a minute. So we're going to have some fun. Oh, I know, right? Okay. So we'll pick on this group first, okay? So I need all of you, you're eating, so if you don't want to, but all of you stand right here in this spot over here. Leave your purses, like up against the glass over here. Yeah. Okay, so this is a challenge, and what you guys have to do is all of these beach balls, you have to pick them up. Got to figure it out. I'm not going to give you tons of instructions. You have to pick them up, and you have to move them from that wall to that wall without dropping them. But everybody moves at the same time. That's all the instructions I'm giving you. Okay? Yeah, you're supposed to be confused, but that's it. You have to move all of these dodgeballs from that wall to that wall without dropping them. Ready, set, go. Okay. Now you have to go back, but you have to keep passing the ball without dropping. And keep passing the ball without dropping. Yeah, go ahead. All right. Now, I need 6 of you to sit down and leave the balls here. All right, now, those that are remaining, you have to pick up the balls. Okay? Same thing, pass them around, and you can't keep going back and forth the same person. You got to choose a different person each time, wall to wall. Nice. Groups of 3. Don't let any of them fall. Don't let any of them fall.
Okay. Here. Chris.
Oh, fail. Okay, keep going. Here. Megan. All right, now 3 of you sit down. Leave the balls. That was 1, 2, and 3. Same thing, pass the balls, can't be the same person twice. Ready, set, go. Uh-oh. You never know. All right. One of you sit down. Yeah. All right. Up, all the balls. She wants to play. Same thing. Pass it around. As you're moving, don't drop any. And we are capturing this on camera. Go ahead. Okay. Now 2 of you sit down. Who's the lucky person? Okay, pick up all these children. Y'all guessed it. Okay, I won't make you. Now, do you guys think you could beat that, this side? No. Here's my very simple but very important point, and it's found in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 12. A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. What the writer to Ecclesiastes is saying is, when you commit to summer swap, and then you start uncommitting, you're saying on Saturday night, we decided to spend the weekend at the cabin, or the boat was calling me, or stuff like that, you might just leave one or two volunteers with far more kids. And can you do it with balls that if you drop them, they don't break? No. Do you want that happening when you put your kids with us? And so this is the thing. We are built in the summer on your volunteer hours, because we have told our veterans, you guys went from September to the end of May, nonstop, every single week. You deserve some time off. And if too many of my summer swap people start saying, can't make it, who do I call? I start calling the people who I said they could have time off, saying, I can't have kids in the room with one or two. I got to have you come back from, in a sense, your vacation. And I know you don't want that to happen. But I say that because, that kind of a thing happens. Now, emergencies happen. I totally get it. I mean, I've had car breaks. I've had kids throw up in the car on the way to church. It's okay if it's on the way to school, but church, that's not good. But, it happens. And in that case, we will talk about how you can communicate to me as soon as you know, because the sooner you let me know, the sooner I can probably, hopefully, find someone to step in. But that's just my way of saying, please, 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 keep your commitments. I mean, our hope for you this summer is that you will find a ministry that you love being a part of, that you love being a part of this ministry to kids who they're learning about Jesus, they're learning the Jesus way of life. We think that kids can learn to be set free, just like adults. We think kids can learn to worship free of inhibition, just like adults. We believe that the kids, especially as they get older, or as some of them serve with you or alongside of you, because, it's exciting that some of you are having your kids with you. They serve free of self, watching you serve free of self. And all of those things are great. And, like last year when we did this, we had a huge handful of our summer swappers say, you know what, I loved it so much, I want to help out during the school year. And they have just had an amazing ministry. And I mean, you've been in church for each of the baptisms. This last school year, we have broken every record in kids' baptisms that Ransom has ever had. That's because the leaders are there every Sunday building relationships. They go into their small groups and they talk about, do you know Jesus? Do you want to make a public profession of that and get baptized? And these kids are saying, yes, they get it. They understand it because of consistency. No different than in school. It's that consistency. So that's what we are hoping that you will do. Real quick, just kind of our values and our visions and our strategies. We want kids to encounter Jesus so they become who God made them to be. We want to set captives free, worship free of inhibition, live free of sin, and serve free of self. And our strategy is, except for nursery, our strategy is we are a large group, small group model, especially in the older ages. So that means, they come in and they have large group games, they have large group activities, they have large group teaching and lessons, and then they go to a small group so that there's that one-on-one with an adult or 4 or 5 with an adult to talk about the lesson and how it affects your life. And we intentionally partner with parents as well as equip parents. And so, we want to do more than just childcare kids during the worship service. We want kids to come to know Christ and to live for Him completely and fully. All right, so now some of the other things is our hope is that you'll find a ministry you'll love with these kids, and we hope that this summer ministry warms your heart as you love on these kids, and you'll consider joining us in the school year. Now we'll move on to scheduling, swapping, and all this good stuff. You will see back there, some of you already, if you got here early, you will see back there, those are all the months of summer, every single Sunday. And what happens is, I'll pull up a kind of a zoom in. What you'll see is the yellow column, because this is June 2nd, is all of you guys. The green and the blue are the veterans that will be in the rooms, so that, there's always a veteran in the room, and you're not going, I'm here, but I don't know what to do. So there will always be a veteran in the room. What you want to do is you'll want to I saw some of you taking pictures of it, very, very smart. Take pictures of where you see you are, because it'll also tell you what age group that I have placed you in. So that'll tell you if you're at the 8 o'clock, the 9:30, or the 11, and what age group you are in. And we always reserve the right to put you where we need you the most, but I always have some just say, you know what, I'm not able to do nursery because I can't pick up babies, or something of if it's elementary and they're playing some of these big motor games, I'm not able to do that. We rely on you to communicate that, and I'll try and swap people around, because we do have to meet room ratios when we're working with minors. So that is there back on that wall. Hopefully before you leave, you'll take a snapshot of that. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. Tornadoes, major storms. Like if you remember in the winter, we had the heater go out, and so we even had to cancel. So we'll talk about the way that we are going to communicate to you if anything changes, if anything happens. And then sometimes on Sunday mornings, if I do have too many people calling in, they can't make it, I might have to make some quick, fast changes and spread everybody evenly out. So I don't commit you to the room that you're currently assigned to, because that might have to shift. How many of you got any kind of notifications already from me about scheduling and stuff like that? How many of you already use the Church Center app? Like even when you're in the sanctuary, you're, all right. You all know how to, because I'm going to show some videos, you know how to get notifications turned on and things of that nature? Yeah, so we've got some training videos, because that is going to be our primary form of communication back and forth. Every Monday, you will get a scheduling email, but you'll also get a notification on the Church Center app. And I'll show you some snapshots of it. And it'll tell you, hey, you signed up for June 2nd, 8 o'clock, and we've placed you in the nursery. And then it will allow you in that to respond to us if something changes, or you all of a sudden go, oh, shoot, I forgot to tell Pastor Paul, I really can't do nursery. Can you move me somewhere else? So you can communicate back in that way. All right, so it'll send out this app notification. So if you've been in, you recognize all these icons. If you're coming down with your kids, you're using the check-in icon, or if you're checking in the sanctuary, you're using the check-in icon. But it will send you a notification, and when you pop into that notification, this is what it's going to say. It's minus the date right now because it's just blank to show you. But it'll put the date. It'll say, okay, you've been placed in toddlers 2 and 3, and it'll say the gathering, right? You've been placed. And if you want to view it, which will allow you to see kind of those things back there, you can click on here and see where that all is. So that's what's going to happen that direction. The email looks like this. So it's saying almost the same thing. It just comes to your email. You can view the plan. Again, this one's a little generic, so it doesn't give a date, but they will give dates so that you know. And these we try to send out Monday or Tuesday. Sometimes there's holidays on Monday, so offices are closed. But they auto-generate, that first working day of the month after a Sunday. And then you'll get a reminder, usually on a Thursday, just in case you forgot. This is where you're scheduled. This is all that sort of stuff. So let me just kind of show you this video if you haven't ever gotten into the app and you don't know how to set up your notifications so that you receive them, this will tell you. We are going to use, during this summer swap, the Church Center app to send you scheduling notifications, to let you know what your schedule is, what area you're scheduled into. You can reply back to us in that. So you're going to search for it in the App Store. Go into the search bar and search for Church Center app. And there it is. Log it in. Download it. And then open it up. And so for the first time that you open it up, it's going to say get started. You are going to use your location. And when you do that, you can either, type in Ransom Church or it'll find it. And then you do, yes, this is my church. Then once you're in, you're going to tap on that bell. And in that bell, you'll see a gear icon. And in there, it'll say Team and Schedule at the very top. So click on Team and Schedule. Use your preferred app as Church Center. So click on that one. And then it'll have all these notifications. You want all of these on because this is how we're going to communicate to you, and it will allow you to communicate back. So then you can go back. Next, you're going to click on the little circle, which is your icon. Yeah, there's a second part, but you'll see when I did this in May, these are all the meetings that I'm scheduled to. And that if you are in other groups and things like that, they'll populate for you as well in there. So that's how you want to make sure you download that app. I'm going to post this on our YouTube channel, and then we'll send it out to you, and you can watch it and slow-mo it if you need to. But make sure you get all those notifications. Once you put in your cell phone number, it will remember who you are, and it'll pull up all of your data information. If you're in any kind of a group or you've joined, a Bible study or something like that, it'll also populate all of that. It pulls all that in there for you. But
I usually use services.
Yep.
Because that's what we use on worship team.
Yep.
So I should switch though to Church Center and also get notifications for both.
It will, in your case, it will do both. It'll send notifications and you'll see them on either or. Yep. Because we are also, services is what's scheduling this, just like you. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Any other questions before I move on? So swapping, how are you going to communicate to us? So there are 3 primary ways, but they're pretty much the same 2. You can reply to one of those emails. You can reply into that app notification, and I got another video to show you how to do that in the app. Or this is my church cell phone number. In case of an emergency, you can write this down. You can call this number or you can text this number. That's my church cell phone number, so it'll go straight to me. The app is pretty instantaneous. It'll pop up a notification in my app pretty quick, but of course a phone is going to ring or vibrate, whereas the app will not. But that is my church number. So back to this. So now, it's the generic one, but if you, in the email, click on this little respond arrow down at the bottom, am I standing where you can see? Yeah. That opens up your email, and you can send me an email, and I'll get it just as fast as I get any emails. Inside the app, here's the notification in Church Center app. Click on the bell with the red button. That means you have a notification. And you can see I'm scheduled summer swap nursery 8 a.m. Click on there and it just gives you all the details that you need to know. This is the room that you'll be in, the gathering hour, and the Sunday, June 2nd, 2024. If you click back on the back button, you're seeing all notifications that you may have responded to or not. Now we're going to see if you want to communicate back to us, something changed. You can communicate to us through the app this way. So now you click on your icon right next to the bell. You'll see June 2nd, I'm scheduled for the nursery. I'll click on to that, and then the little 3 buttons up there. Click on those and hit decline. And then you type in a reason. Please let us know your reason. And then once you do that, hit decline again, and it submits it. And there you go. You no longer see that you are there. And that has let us know to find us up. But again, I can't emphasize enough. We run Summer Swap on your volunteer hours. And if too many of you are declining, we end up having to close rooms. Thank you, guys. That's the 3 ways, you can respond to the email, and a lot of people will keep it because by the time it gets to Saturday or Saturday night, again, anything can happen. We totally understand. And better that you let us know you can't than we go, is somebody coming? Is somebody coming? Is somebody coming? And meanwhile, I've got kids going into the room and kids going into the room. So better you let me know as soon as you know. But you can respond by that email, or you can respond through the app. It makes it much better if we're all using the same platform of communication. So that's how that works. Any questions before I move on to the next bit? I'm trying to honor y'all's time. So expectations, you're probably all wanting to know. What are they going to have us do? Well, first thing you are is a helper in the room. We aren't asking you to teach a lesson. We aren't asking you to prepare a craft. You just assist the volunteer who is in there. You don't have to do any of those things. Next, welcome kids at drop-off. So like if you're in this room, this is the drop-off. And you see the kids come in, it doesn't matter if you don't know them, you welcome them anyways. We're glad you're here. We're excited you're here. Even in nursery, hand a kid over. I'll pick on you, Kristen. I mean, when I'm in there and you hand off Sutton, he's just, because he knows my face and he feels good about coming. So welcome them. If you can, have a smiling face to the parents, especially if you don't know them. You don't know if they're new or not, if it's their first Sunday. And so you are really the first face because they haven't gone into the sanctuary yet. They've come to Children's first. So we really are the first point of contact. Welcome them. Check their name tags, because if they don't have a name tag in elementary, the tags are on front. Ages behind that, we like them on the back so the kids don't pick them off. But make sure they do have their name tag, because as you know as parents, the name tag is how they get picked up. Their specific code is on there. And so we want to make sure then when pickup happens, you're matching the code to the name tag. And again, your first Sunday here, the veterans will walk you through. But you never hand a kid to a parent, even if you know that parent. You always make sure the name tag matches that code that's on there. And each code changes every Sunday, every gathering, all that good stuff. We want you to play with the kids. We want you to play. You're not just a child monitor. Play with the kids. Enjoy being here and having fun with them. Assist the kids with anything they're doing. If it's a craft, and they need help gluing something or coloring or anything of that nature. Worship. Try and do the worship as best you can. They know you don't know it either, but it helps them if you're struggling with it and they're struggling with it. By the end of a month, they've got it. An activity if they're doing, kind of like the ball game that we did here. Participate. Don't go. I don't know. Yeah, and listening. You modeling when the teaching is happening, the way it's supposed to be listened to is huge. I will cover the bathroom policy when we get to kind of our handbook issues. Assist the room leader as they direct. If they are in tune, and they'll know the kids a lot of times, and they'll go, Johnny over there, he really is going to have help. So that's a cue to you. You go and you help. So assist them as they say. Arrive at least 15 minutes before the gathering hour. We will have lanyards. You see that we're all wearing them on Sunday mornings. We will have lanyards with your names on them. They're going to be at this, since we're kind of split in check-ins, they're going to be at this check-in station. So you come, you find your lanyard, you put it on, and then we'll have you check in as a volunteer. And our people at the check-in stations can help you do that if you don't already know how to do that. And then head to the room that you're assigned to. And those stickers that you see on the wall each Sunday, one of those will be on the wall out here. So if you're kind of like, oh, I'm not sure, you can quickly look and be reminded, or one of our volunteers can quickly remind it. And then we ask that you stay in the room until your leader says, okay, you can now go. Again, the legal reasons of us having to have a certain number of adults in the room. If everybody's like, "Ooh, I gotta go," all of a sudden there's either no adults or there's one adult, and that's not legal for us. And your room leader will say, "Yeah, you can go now," that kind of a thing. Next but not least, have a blast. Have fun. Enjoy it. If the kids see you enjoy it, if the parents are picking up and you're like, Sutton had the best time and he just enjoyed, he was running all around the room and mom's going, really? It's just great. Do all that kind of stuff. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Any questions on any of these before I move on? I know I'm moving fast, but I'm trying to honor your time. All right. So the stuff that is in our team member handbook, and I will be sending you, if you haven't already gotten, a digital copy of our handbook. I have a few printed for those of you that are like, yeah, I really do need a printed copy, but we're trying to save trees and save money by not printing 100 of these. So I will be sending you a digital copy. The biggest pieces that you need to know today, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on them unless you have questions because you will get printed copies, but these are kind of legal issues of working with minors. Okay, so we have a two-person policy. There has to be, there has to be at least one over 18 adult. If there's a teenager in the room, that makes the two people, but it can't be two teenagers. It's got to be at least one over 18. We do ask for where there's married or dating couples that they be in the room, that you realize there are always cameras on you. So, yeah, you get it. Again, over. There are always cameras on you. And none of you have ever done this, but I have heard in all my years of children's ministry, if a couple, one person is doing something they shouldn't, the spouse can tend to protect them. And so, we want to make sure you understand that still won't fly because there's always cameras and they are recording. Age requirements in order to serve is they have to be at least 6th grade or above, or if you are with them at all times, then you can serve with your kids. Some of the safety issues we've already talked about. A lot of you already know the name tags. You got to make sure they have those name tags on. People cannot pick up these kids without those name tags. I've never had this here, but I've had this in other churches. There have been custody battles going on, and a non-custody parent shows up and says, "That's my kid," and the kid's like, "Daddy," or "Mommy," because they're excited to see him. And we're like, "Oh, good," and we hand them off. And no, there were legal court battles and orders of protection and things like that. And so that's our protection to you as parents and to your kids, that no one picks up those kids without that tag. If it doesn't match, you have to come and find me or another staff person in order for that to happen. And some of you know when the printers mess up, we print you another one. But you will be here and you will be needing to make sure if you are part of parent pickup, you're checking those tags. And we always say, please take the tag off the kid before the kid goes. Because have any of you ever put it through a washing machine? It don't come off. So that's just one of the ways we serve families is, let's take that off for you there. And we always have those kids that whatever the fabric is, sorry, don't mean to be gender biased, but it's mostly the girls in some of those frilly dresses. It just doesn't stick to. So we have to be very careful that if you're seeing one on the floor, make sure you don't throw it away. It's going to have to go and match at some point. But sometimes those dresses just won't stick. Security codes on there. Allergies and special needs usually are on their name tags. We encourage new families, please print. My child has a peanut allergy. My kid carries an EpiPen, all that kind of stuff. So most of the time, the snacks are all approved and no problems. We put signs on the doors, allergy alerts. So that's usually not an issue. But if there is a snack, please pay attention to their tag before you give a child a snack. We also use that name tag to contact parents. If they need their parent, on that tag is their cell phone number, and so we send them a text. And then at checkout, please always make sure that it is matching. Drop off and parent pickup, right? When a child arrives, greet the parent at the door, make sure the name tag. For nursery, ask if the child has a bag, any sippy cups. We do print labels for their bags. so that when they don't accidentally leave them with us. Ask for any special needs that they might have, and get the child engaged right away. When a parent picks up their child, you get it, greet at the door, check the name tags. I know some of this is repetitive. Food and drinks. Nursery and toddler, the only food and drink is that can be provided by the parent. Otherwise, it's an allergy approved. It's usually a goldfish or oatmeal, or not oatmeal, but Cheerios. Early childhood and elementary ages, and if you're in those, you really have to help us monitor that. Only clear liquids can the child bring in. I know many of them hit and get Mellow Yellows or Diet Pepsis or hot chocolate, and not only is that the stains on the carpet, but I had one kid put some of the Kool-Aid mixer into a water bottle, didn't secure the lid, and started shaking. And it got all over her, it got all over the girl next to her, and so they were pink. It was a pink. I've had another kid, they had a hot chocolate, and they got into like one of these games we played here, and they spilt it all over themselves, and now I'm paging the parent, your child just scalded themselves. So, only water bottles are allowed. If they pick something up, they have to stay out, and we try to catch them at check-in, but we don't want them in the room with it. Name tag for allergy alerts, all that good stuff. Some of it's repetitive. Diaper changing and bathroom policy. So, anybody can change a diaper. You just cannot change a diaper in a secluded private spot. So you can't take a child, even if they're being potty trained, and so they have one of those potty trainers, you can't take them into one of the bathrooms and change a diaper. It has to be in a public setting so that you are never, ever alone changing a diaper. So if you're in the nursery, there is in the nursery a diaper changing station, public. If you're in toddlers, they usually go into the nursery, or they can change the diaper there in public. They don't go into, because all the bathrooms have those koala care bathroom changers, but that's for parents only, not for us as volunteers. This is protection for you. You don't want any parent accusing you of anything. You've never done it privately. It's always been in public. And, in the state of South Dakota, we checked this. Men can change diapers. Men can assist boys with bathroom, not girls with bathroom. But if you do take a child to a bathroom, you can't do that alone either. You cannot do that alone. So whether it's downstairs or upstairs, and right temporarily we use this family bathroom around the corner, you have to, and again, this is the whole idea of the ball, you have to say, I'm taking Johnny to the bathroom, and so you grab one of the check-in persons, or you grab one of the gatekeepers, they have the yellow lanyards, and they are watching you the whole time. If the child says, I need help, while they're in the bathroom, do not go in to help them until there's an adult standing there paying attention the whole time. And this is where the spouse thing can't be the help with you, because you have to have someone else. So you can find a gatekeeper, you can find one of us at the check-in station. Again, there's no cameras in bathrooms, so this is why, and usually what I do is I'm standing outside the door while somebody is in helping the child wash their hands, or they can't pull their pants down or something of that nature. So I'm seeing them the whole time. I'm not actually in the bathroom where a camera can't see me either. All of those things are what's legal and required in the state of South Dakota. Nursery age groups can be combined as infants and crawlers. Okay, so contingency policies. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So any questions on bathrooms and diaper changing? Yeah. Contingency policies, sometimes things can happen. A big storm can hit and everybody's out of power. And so, nobody can show up really, and we have to start combining rooms. Sometimes that happens. And so these are our contingency, right? We'll use our discretion do we close rooms? Do we combine rooms? Children at certain ages, so we can combine toddlers with early childhood, or we can move early childhood to elementary. So we can make those kind of contingencies. Nurseries can be combined with infants and crawlers, which we've kind of been doing now because of the construction anyways. and sometimes we have to put nursery in with toddlers. Those are just the contingency policies. And I say all this to you because if we have to do that, you're kind of going, I thought I was in nursery. Yeah, well, we're having to combine because we don't have enough leaders and volunteers. Any questions before I move on that one? Contacting parents during the service. Some of you are parents, and we've probably already done this. This is why the name tags are also very important. It's got only the cell phone number on it, but we can, with that QR code, not QR code, but that logarithm code on there, they can flash that up onto the screen if the parent's not responding to the text. So we give about a 10-minute distress before we try to contact a parent. So if a child is unconsolable for about 10 minutes, then we're going to send a text first. If a few minutes they haven't participated in it, then it'll go up on the screen. Have you guys ever seen it go up on the screen? It's been really rare this last year. Now that everybody's checking in with cell phone numbers, we are able to send a cell phone, and most of them are responding in that way. But remember, it's about 10 minutes is as far as we'll go if there is a child that's unconsolable. And some of you, especially with the little ones, you know the difference between they're just mad, or they're tired, or they really are traumatized and distressed. So we rely on your judgment. Most of the time, when they're in the nursery and toddlers, they'll come out to us and they'll say, yeah, Tommy needs his parent. They get that cry, they get that and we'll page those parents right away. So you contact us at the desk or a gatekeeper. Make sure what we ask you to do is you don't bring the child to us, you bring the child's name tag to us. So bring the child's name tag to us out here, and then we can, by computer, send it out to there. And then please wait in the classroom or outside the classroom door until the parent arrives. Sometimes you have to remove the child because one child starts crying and it's dominoes. And they all start crying. Yeah, that's how babies think. Oh, he's not happy, so why am I happy? So I'm not going to be happy. But, please stay kind of like right in the doorway as much as you possibly can. If it's severe, then we at the check-in or a gatekeeper will take the child till the parent comes. But you please stay with the child close to the room. Again, your veteran leader will coach you through all these things. It really doesn't happen that often, but it can. We have things like incident reports that if a child, I've had kids collide and somebody's got a little bloody head or a bloody nose, and we fill out those things, and so you just let us know at the check-in desks, and we have those forms, and we'll get those filled out, and then we go through those with the parent at parent pickup. You don't have to, we do that, but we do need you to say, so-and-so got a cut or a bleed, or, they're saying they're sick or something of that nature. So just always tell us out at the check-in stations so that you don't really have to deal with it, but it does need to be addressed as quickly as possible. Any questions before I wrap up?
With changing diapers, do we still have the little stickers of I changed your diaper or that kind of stuff, or if they're potty training?
No, we just tell the parents. Yeah. Yep. The stickers still exist, but most of the time we're just saying, we changed their diaper. Because we've found that parents are no longer freaking out. Yeah. What's funny is the ones that go, well, I'm not surprised. Any questions? Anything that you feel like I haven't covered that you're kind of like, okay, I'm worried about, or I'm concerned about, or I just don't know. Maybe you've got kids in here and you've always had a question. Now's your opportunity to ask.
I maybe missed it, but with the potty training kids, is it like female leaders with the girls and male leaders with boys? And then what happens if there's not the right gender?
Yeah, great question. So the general rules that we try to follow is the females can do both boys and girls. You would just have to take the boy into the girls' bathroom. But you can't go alone. So you will find somebody else, whether it's somebody in your room, or it's one of a gatekeeper because they've got the yellow lanyards, or it's one of our check-in people because we have the bright green lanyards. You find one of us, hey, I'm taking, little Johnny to potty, so that we are there, and up here, it's right this bathroom right over here. Downstairs, you all know where those are. A guy can only take a guy. A guy can't take a girl. So what you do, I'll pick on you, what you would do is you would find one of our female check-in persons and say, can you take Johnny? I'll stand at the door. Yep. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question? Mm-hmm.
But the males can change diapers.
And the males can change diapers either gender because that's completely public, whereas potty training, your question is because you're going into the room. Yeah. One of the beauties of our new space is the toddlers will get the potty training potties. Yay! Which is going to be good. Any other questions? Okay. All hearts are good, huh?
First aid in every room?
First aid in every room, yes. And I can show you in this one. Can you all see? These are the first aid bags, and they are in every room. Yep. Yeah, and then our gatekeepers, if something else is bigger than that, we have a whole security alert system. It's actually through the app, and there are always nurses somewhere around that are part of those teams. I don't know if any of you all are in that team. Are you in that team? Yeah. So you might be able to explain a little better how that functions, but I've seen it fast. Yeah.
I get a message in the Church Center app that says what the situation is, and then we respond.
Yeah. That's right. And we have, there's 2 defibrillators in the building, and all of us on staff are CPR trained. Staying alive. You guys know that one, right? Yeah. Okay. Great questions. All right, well, let me pray, and again, take a snapshot. I will put like the whole month out as a part of today's training, especially for those of you that weren't able to make it, so that you can actually see it. But if you do download the app, turn on the notifications, go to that little circle that is, either your initials, or in my case, it's Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes. That populates anything you've committed to, whether it's a small group or you're on like the security team or what Sundays that I've placed you in, because at this point, I've placed all of you through the 3 months of summer based on the information that you have given me. So you can see it there, and you can also, respond to me that, hey, this is not going to work for me, or that age group is really something I cannot physically. My doctor said I can't, that kind of a thing. People have backs that they get thrown out and stuff like that. So you can communicate in that way. Well, let me pray, and then I will let you all go. Father, we thank you that you've given us this amazing ministry of teaching kids what it means to be a follower of Jesus, what it means to be loved by Jesus, to be cared by Jesus, because they experience us being Jesus to them. And some of these parents, they're coming here for the first time, discovering what it means to be a follower of Jesus. Maybe their lives are crashing and burning all around them. And really, we are the biggest first point of contact when they're dropping kids off. And so how we make them feel welcomed and wanted, and that their kids are safe with us and we want them, can affect how they listen to Phil and Will and others preach, because they know their kids are loved and cared for as if Jesus were the one scooping them up and putting them in his lap. And that's what we get to do. I pray your blessing upon the whole summer, upon all of these people that have signed up and have just so wonderfully decided to serve families, but to serve the veterans who serve the kids all school year. And in Jesus' name, amen.